Good morning, Shed fans. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. This video is just a bit of a catch-up video, really. Just explaining a few things. I did a video on my globe liner. Did a video on my globe liner. They were an hour-long video, and it was me messing about with trying to modify suspension to make front end higher. I had some brass box section, which is this brass box section, which is on the video I said I did give the wrong measurement. It's actually 6mm. It's 6mm square box section. And I said 8, but it's actually 6. And then I put some round bar in, actually in the box section as well, and I drilled down into it so to locate the spring between it, so that this sat between the axle and the spring. And I made some U-bolts up and put some longer U-bolts to equate for this gap being bigger. Now I thought that putting this between the spring and the axle, and it'd give it a lift by this much. It'd lift the axle, it'd lift the body, it'd lift the chassis by this much, because you're putting it between the spring and the axle. So the axle therefore is lower, and with a spring sat on it, it'll lift the body up. But it don't really lift it that much. I thought I'd get that much of a lift, an 6mm lift. But it's actually equated to about a 3mm lift. And I don't know why I'm not sure why it's not gave me the 6mm lift, and it's only given me a 3mm lift. The wheels on my Grand Hauler at Globe Liner, the wheels were the top of the edge of the tyre there was actually underneath the wheel arch. So now you can see there is a gap there, and it's the same on the gap's the same on both sides. But if I put my finger under it, it does lift it a little bit, so it's sagging on the springs. And that is probably the issue. The springs are not quite strong enough, so it's just sagging on the springs to hold the front up higher. And then on this side here, it is marginally higher on the left hand side of the truck. Well, that's that. And then when I was saying I've put the servos in to what it states on the instructions. You can see the servos. You can see the servos that way. So to keep the servos as they are, I've had to make this steering rod up, because it, as you can see there in that line, the steering arm will go through the side of the spring. from the knuckle, from the steering knuckle there, from the hub, where it fastens on the hub to the servo. Because it's got that 6mm lift in it, it sends the steering rod straight through the spring. Now there's nothing I can do about that. The only thing I can do really is do what I've done, what I can see from. My original problem on the very first video I did, this threaded part here on the spring, on the bar, when I was trying to turn right, it was pulling it and it was touching the edge of the spring here. So I had to cut that. I've cut that knuckle down and cut my threaded bar down and made that. So this gap here is a lot greater gap. And then I've put a rose joint in on this end instead of the Tamiya connector and ball connector. And then the other end's a rose joint as well. And then these back joints here are rose joints. Just here. And then there. And then I've changed the gear linkage to rose joints on either side with a 3mm threaded bar. And I've put an extended thing in there. So that's all working. That's all working fine. I hadn't really made myself very clear in the videos what my intentions were and what I was supposed to be doing, what I was doing. I was just putting it together. I was doing the video as I'd done it. I had not edited it or anything. I don't edit any of my videos or mess about with stuff like that. I just do one take and that's it. So that's that truck. That's me Globeliner with the steering mods and the axle lift. I suppose what I'm gonna have to do is probably try and get another spring. Probably get another pair of springs and take them apart and put some extra leaves in these springs to see if that'll give me a decent extra bit of lift. It's one thing, it's a thing to do for future, really, that. I'm happy with it as it is. I've used it as it is. It's brilliant, it's a lot better now. Now I've took them shocker mounts off at back at axle, you can really get them, that steering can really go to full lock from side to side. So that's a lot better, being able to get it on full lock and get it turning really sharply. So I need to scratch build some brackets, make some brackets up to remount me front shockers, which I can do that. That's not going to be difficult to do that job, but I'm going to have to do it in such a way that it don't catch, that the steering rod don't catch it. Now you can bend the steering rod. People bend the steering rod it looks like it's about probably between 35 and 45 degree angle and bent steering rod, so that you can get on full lock without it touching the shocker bracket. So that's a mod you can do, which is pretty good. And that's about it really. Oh, I did get asked on one of my other videos what motor I'm using, and I've got this motor in it. It's an 80 turn. It's a 540 80 turn brush motor with a hobby wing 1060 ASC, which is really good. You can get some proper control with it, and it don't store on hills or anything. That's about it really for this video, I think. Can't think of anything else. If you head over to Ian's channel, Ian Sparks RC, does some really good stuff. I really have got into watching his videos and I enjoy watching those. I like his modification for his steering, for reefer trailer, for 3-axle reefer trailer one. That's really good. What he does there is he puts instead of making the knuckles on the reefer trailer, the rear axle fixed to the ball connectors, you put shockers in between. So when you're going round corners, the back wheels will turn and drag your trailer around, which is pretty cool. And that's it, shed fans, for this one. We'll see you on the next one.